Times that we do not want those things to come up, and we'll be on the verge. I want to get involved. Maybe I want to get more involved in church. I want to reach out more, get more friends. But every time you go to do that, your pain cries out or your past cries out, and it all, no matter what, we could be here. It could be 1,000 people in here. In the back row, somebody bust out laughing, and you're thinking they're laughing at you because in first grade, you fell out your chair. And when you fell out your chair, the whole class laughed at you falling out your chair. And those people back there aren't even thinking about you. They don't even see you. You're not even, not saying you're not important. Well, yeah, you're not important to their situation right now. And you think that they started something back there about you. Why? Because it took you back to a painful experience that you never rightfully dealt with. Because every time the opportunity for you to deal with it comes up, what do? We run from it. Or we hide. Or we say, I don't care what people think about me. Now, there is a place you can get to where you really don't care what people think about you. But some of the I don't care what people think about me is pains from childhood crying out as a defense mechanism to make it look like, I don't care. But you know what shows you care? Your nonverbal communication, your posture, your behavior, your demeanor, everything about you shows that you do care. And my encouragement to all of us is that all of you guys are young, that you deal with it at a young age so that as you get older, it doesn't come back up. And that you deal with it because some of you're about to have children, you already have children, you want to identify those pains in the past that you won't address because your kids may have to deal with some of those same things that you have to deal with. So you want to clear the path so that they don't have to struggle with some of the things that you didn't address. All right, any questions? No questions, okay. The next quote, one of my favorite quotes. Champions have terrible memories. What do y'all think that means? Remember, I record.
In order for you to become a champion, you had to have something to fight against.
Right.
When I say that, you had to have some losses. You had to go up against challenges. So you always use that to motivate you to go to win.
Or develop or to mature your craft or that what you do, you cannot remember easily. You can't remember your last defeat because if you keep remembering your last defeat, that's where you're going to live at. And you're going to mess up in another battle and you'll be defeated again. One of the things in baseball we learned was there's a thing called errors. In errors, the ball hit to you, you bobble the ball or overthrow the ball or something like that. That's an error. One of the things the coaches teach you is stay out of your head because if you're stuck at that last error, you're going to make another error. Can we apply that to our own lives? And which way can we apply that to our own lives? Because if we stay stuck in past mistakes, we will continue to repeat those same mistakes, or we will repeat mistakes that kind of look similar to that last mistake that we made. So what we want to do is, we want to be able to erase the memory or the influence of that which happened to us. Champions are able to do that. You know why? Because champions don't dwell on former defeats or victories. And you might say, well, why wouldn't they dwell on the former victories? Because if you dwell on the former victory, you'll stay at the level that you are, and you won't be able to. Anybody play video games? Anybody play video games? Anybody ever play video games? Okay. What video games have y'all played?
Donkey Kong.
Can't hear you.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. Mario.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Wrestling.
What else, y'all?
Like Candy.
Sonic.
What's some other video games?
And it's Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
All those video
Mario
games.
Brothers.
Yep, Mario Brothers. That was the original one, the Super Mario.
Yes.
and Luigi. But each of those games have what?
Levels.
Levels, right? And in each level, you can't use the same strategy as you use the last level, right?
You'll die.
Because if you use the same strategy, what's going to happen?
You'll die.
You'll die. That's the same thing as far as what they're saying about champions. Champions they have terrible memories because they don't allow the strategy that they use once to affect the strategy that they use in their next battle. So my encouragement to each of y'all, Overseer said he's building y'all to be what?
Workers, winners, and warriors.
And warriors. If you're ever going to be workers, winners, and warriors, you're going to have to learn how to have a terrible memory. Now, I don't want us to take this in a literal sense,
Right.
where you just say, oh, I can't remember this because I had a friend tell me one time, yeah, God just erased my memory. No, baby, you just didn't want to deal with some of the things you need to deal with. I'm not talking from that sense. I'm talking about the influence and impact that it has on your life. If you're ever going to be a worker, winner, warrior, that's the three, right? Worker, winner, warrior. You must learn how to erase the effect of what you went through so that you can level up. Because some of us are stuck on level 2 and level 3 when we're supposed to be on level 15. I don't know about y'all, but I get a game, I can take that whole day to master that game. That's what I want to do. I always want to level up. That's the same thing we have to be in life. We have to be ready to level up. Let's look at a scripture that will help us with that. In case you said, well, Cliff, I don't believe that applies to my life, and I don't see why you would even say that. Isaiah 43 and 18. And we know this is when God is instructing them, but we're just going to hit this one verse. Do not earnestly remember the former things, neither consider the things of old. When you hit that word earnestly, what does that mean? Anybody know what earnestly means? It's okay, y'all. Y'all relax. Even if you're wrong, it's fine. We'll get there together. But y'all know what earnestly means.
Yeah, like, I know what it means.
Like anticipation or expectation or to yearn for it. To believe that that's the only thing that you will ever have. And he's trying to get us to get on another level of our thoughts. Okay? Next scripture. Same thing as in the voice. I want us to realize, because some of you might say, well, you said champions have terrible memories even with their victories. That's scripture as well. Listen at this, because when you break this down in the Hebrew, it's not even talking about the bad things for them not to remember, but it's also talking about the way that God brought them out. Because God was introducing them to a new way of what he was about to do. And if you're stuck on what God did or how he did it yesterday, you'll miss out on a wave and a move of God today. So what does it say? Somebody read it.
Brethren, I count not myself.
No.
Sorry.
Isaiah 43, the voice version.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
A little ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It says, Eternal One, don't revel only in the past, or spend all your time recounting the victories of days gone by.
Right. So you see where it comes into what I was saying about champions, where they don't stay stuck even on victories, because they're always ready for the next battle. Always ready for the next battle. And sometimes if we get so focused on what we've accomplished, we'll settle right there. And that's like the video we were watching where it was saying, when you're running a race against people that you are faster than, you'll always win, but your time will never get better. You'll never grow. You'll never develop. That's what it's saying here. All right? Next scripture. Philippians 3, 13 and 14. Brethren, I count not myself to apprehend it, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling. What does that word forgetting mean? Forgetting mean to you? Don't tell me what I have on the slideshow. When you hear the word forgetting, Candy, what does that mean? Take the mic.
Stop looking at the
And then pass it to
laptop.
Martine.
Looking at that laptop.
What does it mean to you?
She's on the laptop.
Use the mic. Remember I'm recording.
Oh.
Use the mic. Remember I'm recording.
To me, the forgetting means to not focus
Mm-hmm.
when the things that happen,
Mm-hmm.
because when it says that, this is forgetting those things which are behind, reaching forth it's trying to keep you going to the next level where you can forget. Not that you actually forget everything that happened. It's you lose the focus.
I forget everything. Literally. I know that something happened. It could like, something happened between me and you, I know. But I won't dwell on it. Like, I'll forget that it happened until somebody reminds me, or until I literally just sit there and think about it.
Okay. Now, can I, I'm going to use the word challenge, and that's going to seem a little rough, but can I challenge you on that? You mind if I challenge you on that? There was,
It's my blessing.
I remember we were talking one time, and we were talking about singing, right? And you were telling me that you don't sing, you don't like to sing. Why? Don't say what it was, but do you remember what it was? So I have to challenge you concerning that, because there's still that memory there that causes you to hold back or be locked in a box concerning the singing. You get,
Okay, I need you to help me. I need you to help me because okay.
My problem is so much happens that I will just keep moving forward and won't deal with it. So what I was going to ask you is, I know that I have a lot of past pain, but I haven't dealt with it because I just kept going.
Right.
What do I need to do? Because I can literally sit here, like I was sitting thinking about, okay, baby Chris is going to be a year old next month. This whole year I went through hell, and I forgot everything that I had went through because I never dealt with it. I just was like, okay, well, this happened, so I gotta just go to the next thing so I can keep moving forward. But I never dealt with those things and it was a lot of traumatic stuff. If I don't deal with it, then I'm gonna continue to carry it. And I still haven't dealt with the stuff with my childhood. I really forgot. I really forgot. I did not know that why I didn't like to sing until they started asking me to sing.
Right.
So I had forgotten about that stuff. And my dad used to make me sing when I was like...
As we're moving on, because what happens is, I'm gonna be honest with you, we may appear to be progressing, or we may appear to be growing, but we're not growing or progressing as much as we could be. I'm just talking to those that are coming. As much as we could be if we haven't dealt with those things. Now there's two sides to it, because sometimes some things don't get addressed until you do grow, until you're confronted with the situation, and now you have to face it. Because there are a lot of things that we block out for whatever reason. Whatever reason, we put it in the recesses of our mind, and when we put it in the recesses of our mind, we don't go back to it. However, there are things that God will allow to happen to cause those things to come back up. Now that's when real growth and development comes, because now it's what are you going to do with it now? So what you have to begin to do is, with your past and your pain, and we're going to get to some principles at the end. I don't want to go ahead of myself. What you're going to have to do is, now the things that you know need to be dealt with, you're going to have to face them head on. And it may be in you realizing you may need strategy from God, but also from counseling. You know, I know a lot of people say, you don't need counsel, all you need to do is pray. I'm big on counseling. I'm big on counseling because sometimes you need a prophetically sound voice that's laced with an education that can make you deal with some of the stuff you're hiding from. Because it's just like deliverance. In deliverance, when you really learn deliverance, you understand how the hierarchy of the enemy is set up. And you may be up here and you really need to know it as a deliverance worker, because you'll be so caught up and people coughing that you won't realize that all that's coming out is a shield. That shield's job is to protect the strong man. So if that shield is coming out, you're not even sound, You'll be just excited off of the shield coming out and not realizing you haven't even got to the strong man. That's how it is with many of our lives. The shields will come out. They will. But you need somebody that's skilled and does not care about hurting your feelings, that will make you dig deeper into your life to pull the root of the problem out. Because sometimes all that's going on is we're pulling branches off, we're pulling some bad fruit off, but we're never getting to the root of the problem. And when you never get to the root of the problem, all that's happening is you're circling that same mountain over and over, and in your mind you're thinking, oh, I'm growing. No, we're just going in the, who was it? Circle, circle, round and round. That's all. That's what's going on with us spiritually, going in circles round and round because we're not dealing with the root of the problem. All right? Oh, forget it. What the
No, not me.
Oh, yeah, you.
The computer.
Oh, did it shut down?
Yeah.
Here you go. Go ahead. What does forgetting mean to you?